Hello everyone, this is Lincolnus Prime, and today we are taking a look at the Playmates Toys Godzilla Kong, the New Empire Godzilla and Shimo 2-pack. Now, if you're looking to pick up some of the new GXK toys, I would definitely try checking out your local Walmart because they are stocking them, and they are stocking them in pretty big quantities, and I'd say probably even bigger than the Godzilla vs. Kong toy line. So if you're interested in picking these up, Walmart is the place to go as of right now. But anyways, let us move right into the review. Firstly, taking a look at the newly introduced Titan Shimo. This one is very, very cool, and I just love the way that this looks. I mean, it is, of course, a Playmates figure, so it's not going to be the most amazing thing ever in terms of sculpting, but what I will say is that they did a very good job for what it is. Now, this is the 2-pack version, and the basic version does not have these blue highlights throughout the figure. It's just plain white. So you do have options if you just want to go for the 2-pack and you want to have a little bit of extra paint, then this is the way to go. If you're just looking for something basic, then get the basic figure. But overall, this one looks very cool. But moving in on the face sculpt, I absolutely love the way that it looks. Eyes are my only true gripe about how this is, how this all looks, because they're just a blue paint splotch that's just right there on both sides, so yeah. But the teeth, however, are pretty decently painted. I will say that they are painted at the top and on the bottom, and we do have some pink for the tongue. Not the most ideal. I feel like there could have just been a little bit more pink paint for the mouth, but hey, not a huge deal. We do get some more blue highlights going down here. We get some clear blue plastic for the top of the head as well, as well as these crystal dorsals, I guess you could say, going down the spine. Nothing clear here for the tail, but I will say they did a great job with color matching all of this throughout the tail, from the clear plastic to the painted, so that is very nice. We get some more blue highlights across the legs, lots of scaly detail, very similar to Godzilla, and it just overall looks really good, and I just love the way that all of this looks going down on these crystal spikes. So yeah, definitely a really good job in terms of the paint work. Of course, the eyes are my only true gripe about it, but hey, not a huge deal, they're eyes. But yeah, overall, really, really cool looking figure. Now, when it comes to his articulation, we do have a hinge at the jaw, which allows it to open up about that wide, which is kind of funny looking. And, of course, it does close. Full rotation all the way around, can look down that far and up that far. The arms can rotate all the way around on both sides. They can move out that much and in that much. Swivels at the claws, I guess. So there's that. We do get, a rotation at the back legs, which is very nice. Of course, we do get a swivel on the back claws, and the tail is on a ball joint, so that does do ball joint stuff. But yeah, overall, Shimo here is a very, very cool figure. Now, he does come with his, what I believe they call his Frost Blast, which is basically like an atomic breath, but I guess, cold. But we do have some pretty nice sculpting for this Frost Blast effect piece. I do have a bit of black paint just kind of splotched on there, unfortunately, but hey, not a huge deal. But it looks very cool. Do have a peg right here. Open up the mouth like so. There is the hole right there, and there's a piece of hair on my hand. Get off. There we go. And that just plugs right up into there. Close that, and there we go. And that looks pretty cool. And one thing that I'm noticing is that for the new atomic breath pieces, they are including this like effect where it kind of looks like it's blasting out of the side of the mouth. Make it look a little bit more realistic, so I do like the way that looks. But yeah, overall, Shimo here is a very, very cool looking figure. And moving along to the big guy himself, here we have a Godzilla Evolved. And I gotta say, I really like this look for Godzilla. A lot of people aren't a huge fan. They're hoping that he'll revert back, which, I'm gonna be completely honest, guys, that's not how Godzilla's evolution works. Every time Godzilla evolves, he kind of stays that way until he evolves even more. So no, you kind of have to accept that this is what he's gonna look like until he evolves again. I'm sorry, but I had to put the truth out there. Anyways, I really like how this looks because I actually really like the Millennium style, look for this guy. I do think it works very nicely. I will say though, the sculpting on this isn't great. He does look kind of goofy, and his arm, this arm specifically, kind of juts out in a very weird way that I'm just not too big on, and the pose the arms are in is just kind of awkward to me. I'm not gonna lie, it's very awkward. But when you look at from the side, it just kind of depends on what angle you have it from. It's not terrible. It's just, when you look at it from that angle or that angle, it just looks a little bit weird. But hey, not a huge deal. Now, when it comes to the paintwork on this guy, well, first off, let me go over the rest of the sculpt work. So he does have lankier legs. He is more malnourished looking than he previously has. So he does have a little bit of a skinnier, abdomen area, skinnier legs, longer, bigger arms, and of course, his signature tiny legendary Monsterverse head. But when it comes to the tail, though, is we actually have a new evolved portion, I guess you could say. And he actually has like the Stegosaurus, like more Stegosaurus-like dorsals than usual, so that is pretty interesting. But there is some very nice sculpt work going across the tail. The dorsals are probably my favorite part of this because I love this, lightish red color for the clear plastic going on around here, so that does look very nice. Now, when it comes to the paint is actually pretty decent. I mean, we have pink for the tongue. Teeth, not the greatest. Eyes, also not the greatest. But when it comes to all of this going on here, this blue fade, I love that, how that looks. I think that looks really, really cool. Pretty much rest of him is just kind of like this dark blue, navy blue, darker than navy blue something. We get some green for the claws on both the fingers and the feet, and we have more of this red, which starts right here at the neck. Doesn't go throughout here, but it does continue on throughout the tail, which does look very nice, but I do wish it could have been color matched just a little bit better with, these clear red dorsals. But hey, not a huge deal, and I do kind of wish they painted the spikes on the elbows, but they didn't really do that. They did it on the giant version, just not this version, but hey, not a huge deal. Now, Godzilla's articulation is pretty much the same as we usually see on most Playmates Godzilla figures. We have a hinge joint at the jaw, which allows it to close and open. Nothing at the head, just a slight bit of movement, and that's about it. The arms can rotate all the way around. Maybe on both sides. Yeah, on both sides. The legs can kick forward that much and back that much. Do have swivels in the feet in both of them, and we do have, of course, a ball joint in the tail, which can go all the way around, side to side, yada yada yada. We've seen it, we know about it, and it still works nicely. But yeah, in terms of Godzilla, he is pretty cool, and of course, he actually comes with his atomic breath, and peg right there. Well, looking first at the detail, I will say that it is a very interesting looking piece. It's definitely a new atomic breath compared to what we've seen before. Just for a comparison, here's the old atomic breath. Not really old, and like this is the one that came with the newer one, but you get the point. Pre-evolved atomic breath, and this one looks a little bit more breathy. This one looks a lot more fiery, so I love the way that looks. I think that looks great. But you just kind of pop it into the mouth like so, and there you go. And he also has that same effect piece that Shimo has, where it looks like it's kind of coming out the sides of the mouth. So yeah, I think that looks great. But yeah, overall, in terms of Godzilla, he is looking pretty fly in my opinion. Now, there are some other inclusions in the set besides just the figures themselves. We actually have the what I assume Playmates, I don't know if they've been doing this before, but this is something that, I guess they're kind of known for, is making cardboard cutouts for certain things, like a diorama, for example. So we have these, blue crystal effect thingies, hollow earth effect thingies, and then we do have these, like this bone cage type thing. I don't know whose bones these are supposed to be. I don't know if it's like relevant to the plot or anything, but hey, it's something that we have. And the printing on this is pretty cool. I will say that they do join together right here at this section there, and you can have Godzilla and Shimo battling it out, in this little hollow earth thing, I guess. But hey, you have options. You have options here, and I almost toppled them over, but there, yeah. So we got some stuff going on. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of the cardboard cutout stuff. I mean, I've collected all of the Godzilla stuff that comes with them, so I don't mind them too much, but again, that doesn't mean that I'm like huge on it. But hey, it's something that we got, so there's that. So you can mess around with your Godzilla and Shimo, maybe other figures that you may have for a GXK, mess around with the diorama. You can do whatever you want, and you have options. And for a quick size comparison, here we have the GXK Godzilla next to the what I would presume the 2019 to 2021 Godzilla. As you can see, of course, there's going to be a lot of differences. Of course, he's supposed to be bigger, but Playmates doesn't really do scale, I guess, so yeah. But not very many similarities. I mean, yes, it's the same Godzilla, but very different in terms of how they look. But yes, there's that. For another comparison, here we have him next to the original GVK Godzilla that we got from Playmates. So there is pretty much that. I mean, only similarities here we got going on are clear dorsal spines, but that's really about it. Another comparison, a figure that I haven't reviewed yet, but I do want to review this one soon, the Playmates King Ghidorah from King of the Monsters. So we do have that. Of course, he is underscaled compared to Godzilla, but hey. And here we have him next to the Playmates 2014 Godzilla. So we have that going on. And yeah, so when it comes to comparisons with those guys, that's pretty much about it. Now when it comes to Shimo, we got Shimo right here, and I just realized that I kind of posed him a little bit. There we go. So with Shimo, here we have him next to the KOTM/GVK Godzilla. So there is that. Here we have him next to Ghidorah. So we got, two villains going on here, which is, something. And apparently Shimo is the guy that, froze this guy, like when he was in the ice. So poetic, I guess you could say. There's that. And of course the Godzilla 2014. So there we have that. And overall, my final comments on this set is that, for what it is, this was only $20. I would recommend it. These are pretty good, pretty decent figures in my opinion. I mean, you're getting, figures with somewhat decent articulation. I mean, they're fun to mess around with, don't get me wrong. They got accessories, you got the whole cardboard cutout diorama thing, so that is a plus. Pretty decent paint apps. I think that these definitely have the best paint apps out of the 2 packs, because with the other ones, with Kong and Scar King, I'll get to that. But yeah, these ones definitely have the best in my opinion. Atomic Breath piece and the Ice Blast piece are definitely nice inclusions. I love the look and feel of these figures. Playmates is definitely improving the quality of their figures, I will say that. But yeah, overall, I would definitely have to recommend picking up this set if you just want to collect some of the Playmates GXK figures. And yeah, highly recommended. But anyways, guys, that is pretty much about it for this review. I hope you all enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.